Well, in a city with a low unemployment rate, focusing on employee needs and employer expectations may be more important than recruiting new workers. This week's Rotary Club meeting had Cosette Green from Alberta Works as their guest speaker to talk about employer-employee relations. Now, according to Alberta Works, taking care of your employees' needs will save your company money in the long run.
Attracting new people and training are probably at least 4 times the cost of the annual salary. So if we look at that, to not put some work and effort into retaining your staff, it's going to cost you big dollars in the end.
Alberta Works is seeing a change in the way younger generations approach looking for a career.
Nowadays, the young people aren't really looking at finding an employer and then figuring out how they're going to operate their lives. They're looking at, how do I want to operate my life and what employer fits into that.
She spoke about methods employers can use to attract and retain staff and the little things they can do to keep workers happy.
Sometimes something as simple as having barbecues to show the appreciation of the staff can keep somebody there just because they realize that they're important to you.
Green says Lloydminster continues to strive for improvement and can be proud of its low unemployment rate at just 3%. Well, the second Bonnyville and District Oil and Gas Show is in the books, and organizers are pleased with the results. As Clayton Brown explains, the number of visitors was up from 2 years ago, and organizers hope to continue building on the event's success.
2013's Oil and Gas Show was only the second time such an event has been held in Bonnyville, but the exhibition is already gaining a big reputation.
I had more than one guy coming through saying we had no idea that the show was of this size and caliber. How do we get a booth next year? So, you know, we've got actually quite a few people that just didn't realize the scope of the show, and, you know, we're very impressed. So overall, great feedback.
This year's show was 30% larger than 2011's, with around 180 different companies attending, which in turn attracted more people to the event.
We definitely saw more people come through the door this year, not quite yet to the target that we had anticipated, but as the years go by and you build that word of mouth and that reputation, I think definitely 2015 we'll see even more attendees come through the door.
The organizing committee has 2 years to prepare for the next show, and with increasing numbers as their main focus, Ducharme says they'll be stepping up their marketing.
We really just want to make sure that everyone in Calgary knows that there's a Bonnyville Oil and Gas Show, and that's just, like I said, going to take word of mouth, and it's going to take some focused marketing efforts to make sure that we get to that point.
2014's Oil and Gas Show will take place in Lloydminster. In Bonnyville, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.
Well, it's time again to look back at our past in retrospect. This week from the archives, Brian Hardy brings us the story of the border city being awarded the 97 Summer Games, as well as talk about a city bypass.
It's late June 1999 and a city bypass is in the planning stages.
With growth and expansion come change and development, challenges the city is constantly faced with. One of the latest here in Lloydminster is the possibility of a ring road.
I don't like the word bypass. I'd hate to see the bypass come, but I think it's inevitable that it will be here.
Then there is also an issue of cost to consider.
It'll certainly take the load off the expense of having to keep up the highway as it comes through the city.
Many businesses here along Highway 16 say they are pleased with the proactive approach the city is taking in regards to the bypass. They say they will likely be able to adapt and survive, but it won't be easy.
Right now, councillors are not putting any plans into place. They will await the findings of the study and then determine which alternative will meet both the needs and best interests of the city. Shannon Fagan, NewsHour.
This week in 1995, the border city gets the Summer Games.
It was to be just a typical question and answer session between the Bid Selection Committee and the Lloydminster Bid Committee, but it turned into a whole lot more, with the surprising arrival of Alberta Sports Minister Gary Marr and Vermilion Lloydminster MLA Stephen West.
So it's with a great deal of pleasure that I announce that the City of Lloydminster has been awarded.
I think the most significant factor was the tremendous community support here in Lloydminster.
The border city beat out 3 other bids from Camrose, Fort Saskatchewan, and a combined bid from Wainwright, Vermilion. Greg Buchanan, NewsHour Sports.
Join us next time for Canada Day celebrations on Retrospect.